people in this room are going to change America. I want you to understand that. The people in this room are going to change the country. We made history yesterday outside of the White House. Hearing all of you share your stories outside of the White House, seeing you guys smile with the president, and finally understanding that the media can no longer lie to us. We will not be owned by the media. Before I came in, I heard that Al Sharpton was going off on us, and
we were not paid.
the people that have betrayed this community, that have sold us out to Democrats, have received paychecks for years, as long as they kept us on the plantation. So today I wrote some words that I'm going to try to get through because I did not want to lose it and cry on stage. And I'm referring to this as the Black State of the Union address. For all Americans to watch, we are live streaming on Twitter right now. So first and foremost, why do we need a Black State of the Union address? That's easy, because politicians have been lying to us. The media has been lying to us, and for a long time, if we're being honest, we've been lying to ourselves. The state of Black America has become nothing but a talking point, a stump for aspiring congressmen and politicians to garner attention to themselves, a reason to vote for so-and-so instead of so-and-so. We have had over 10,000 elected Black politicians, plus a Black president for 2 terms. And Black America is poorer today than we were in the 1950s. How did that happen? How did that happen? We were sold an illusion. We purchased an illusion that was carefully crafted for us by cameras, which surround us today, by the media, and of course by the Democrat Party. And it was an idea that if we married ourselves to them, if we pledged allegiance to the government, that we could guarantee ourselves progress somehow. So let's check in and see what that blind allegiance to the government and to the Democrat Party has earned us. 18 million Black babies have been aborted since 1973 because the Democrats empowered us with choice. The Black population growth has stagnated completely. Planned Parenthood, an organization which you all know was founded by Margaret Sanger, a racist white eugenicist, who said that Black people need to be exterminated like weeds, who is celebrated in textbooks in the education system today. She sold to us that this was going to be Black empowerment, choice, Planned Parenthood. There are 900 Black babies that are ripped from the womb of their mothers every single day, and we have aided and abetted in their plan, a successful plan meant to stop new Black births. Of course, it's the Hispanic population that is growing the fastest in this country, which is why they have shifted their focus. The Democrat Party is now obsessed with open borders, DACA, 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 caravans of illegals, a new frontier for potential economic and voting slaves is what they see them as. The party that advocates the hardest for against family separation at the border has managed to at the very same time promote it in our communities. The most unsafe place for a Black child in America is not on the streets or in the presence of a white cop, it's in the mother's womb. Yes. If the Democrats truly believe that hashtag families belong together, then why are they incentivizing Black father absence? Why do female welfare recipients earn more money from the government if the father does not live inside of the home? Why aren't they discussing the single motherhood rate, which has jumped from 23% in the 1960s to 74% today? Do Black families not belong together? Is it only the families that are at the south of the border committing crimes that belong together? They say to me all the time, Candace, they commit crimes for a better opportunity. Okay? Is that the excuse we can use now? Should we tell the Black men that are in prison that they need, call their lawyers and say, oh, I committed that crime for a better opportunity? I wanted to pause because there's somebody in this room whose story I just read about, who served some time in prison, and I want to give him just 2 minutes to come to the stage and tell his story, because I think it's something that a lot of people I know, all of our families, have experienced with people that have served in the prison system. Tony, will you please just come up here and say a couple of things? Please, guys, applaud him.
Oh, you did it. You did it.
I want to give thanks to God because through all things, God is great. I want to thank the mother of our movement, Miss Candace Owens. I want to thank the ever vigilant uncle of our movement, Brandon Taylor. And we all need to give the loudest round of applause for White Chocolate. I'm gonna read something to you, and to be honest with you, I think I'm gonna start crying even though I'm about to read it to you. Baby, I may need your phone. You might have to switch. I may, because I'm not getting service in here. Just too good. So if you go online and you type in the words "prison," from prison to business, I'm going to pop up. I'm going to start off by just giving you a little bit of history. I'm from Brownsville, Brooklyn, New York. I don't have much time. I sold drugs, keys of cocaine. I've played with the biggest, top-level drug lords you can think of. I've traveled to Mexico. I bought hundreds of keys of cocaine. And I did Fed time, not because they caught me, because someone said I was doing it. I'm gonna read my story to you. In his bed in Pike County Jail in Pennsylvania, Antone Tucker woke up after 3 days, he had attempted suicide. He says by taking epileptic medication, his cellmate provided him. He says by taking epileptic medications, his cellmate provided him. And this is how I tried to commit suicide, waking up 3 days later because God seemed to understood it. I had a bigger cause and call. Amen. A court document, 2006 memorandum from a federal judge in Pennsylvania related to Tucker's efforts to fight the charges against him, reveals a series of events that led to his arrest. We're being accused of attempting to sell up to $50,000 worth of crack cocaine. Federal agents had sent an informant into the apartment where drug sales took place, fitted with a recording device. That bitch ain't had me saying nothing to her. Tucker describes a suicide attempt. Make sure that I'm on the right page. Okay. But from this perspective, federal prosecutors in Pennsylvania were unfairly attempting to charge him with being the organizer of a criminal enterprise, thus increasing his punishment for the drug dealing in 2004 suicide attempt was serious, I said. When you see someone around you getting life in jail, it makes you a believer that you'll be in jail for the rest of your life. Tucker describes a suicide attempt as a low point in his life filled with poverty, violence, drug dealing, abuse, and survival. I chose to take my life because I wouldn't turn on the person that I was selling drugs with, that I only knew for 2.5 months. The FBI informed me that if I would have told them where his location was, I would have been released on the spot. I told them to take me to jail. But it would also be a turning point in his life, he says, for the better. Tucker would end up copping a plea in 2009. He would be released because Because the change in laws that lowered punishment in selling crack cocaine as opposed to powder cocaine, which resulted in lower sentences. Here's the kick. Tucker would briefly be released, but the government would appeal the process and bring Tucker back to prison in 2009 for another year. I fought the federal government acting as my own attorney pro se. I beat the federal government. Yep. But the federal government, no, don't please. The federal government wouldn't let this black man whoop him. So they went to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court said, send that nigga back to jail. I sat in jail and I watched as my grandmother died, as my father died. I had millions. I offered to pay. I offered to pay to go see my father. I offered to pay for the marshals, whatever they made that day. I offered to pay for their hotels, transportation. It didn't matter. All that shit didn't matter at all. They threw me butt naked in a box and let me sit there. He bounced around several correctional facilities throughout the 6 years from Pike County, Lackawanna jails, and then settling in Fort Dix, New Jersey, and Otisville, New York. He was released in 2010. In prison, Tucker began to prepare for the rest of his life. He earned a GED, a move that criminal justice experts tend to applaud according to Rand Corporation's study. Inmates who participate in correctional education programs have a 43% lower chance of returning to prison after release. He would attain a doctorate in divinity from the Universal Life Church Monastery. I woke up every day. At 4 in the morning, where everybody sat in their cells comfortable, understanding that this predicament they was in, some would never come home from. But I told myself that I was supposed to die that day I took those pills. I went to school every day because I didn't want to come home a felon, another nigga. Somebody they can pick at, take apart, and tell you you're not shit. I came home a doctor. Upon release, Tucker felt as though he had lost a lot of time and focused on staying out of trouble. These days, he's a 35-year-old business owner, running a tattoo shop in Utica, and is working on the music side. I left music. My music was played on the radio almost every week in New York City. I was performing, doing shows, making up to $4,000 a night, sometimes doing 3 shows at once. I have hit records. I've been on Love and Hip Hop. I'm serious. I'm dead serious. I did all of this, and all of this I was doing, I decided to walk away from everything. I reached a point, because I'm gonna let you guys finish the rest and catch up. I just wanted to say this before we go. I reached a point this year where I lost a lot of money, and I'm responsible for the care of my family. And if you're a black man, then you understand what I'm talking about. If you're a black woman, then you understand what I'm talking about. If you're a black, white, and poor, you understand what I'm talking about. I felt so depressed, I felt like taking my life again because I felt like a failure. All these people depended on me to feed them, and I felt as if I couldn't do it. And how could I tell them no? I cried myself to sleep. And then God came to me in my dream, behind an all-black desk. And his everything was just dark. And I sat in front of him. He didn't speak, but he was in my head. And he said, I pick those who speak in the tongue of the people. If anyone knows me, you know I'm quick to knock you out. I'm quick to shoot the gun. I'm with the shits. But at that moment, I knew when I woke up that I had to change, and I didn't have a choice. The only people around you that have hurt you have been the people you allowed. And the only people we allow around us to govern our communities, to govern our affairs, have been Democrats. They have let us down. And to this day, instead of them being worried and trying to fix what it is that they did, they're crucifying us. And there's no difference between attacking someone over the color of their skin and attacking someone through the color of a hat.
Right.
We are treading a very thin line. I want to thank Candace. I love you, sis. Thank you.
These are the stories of the people that have flooded my inbox on Instagram, which made me turn to Charlie and say, you've got to do something. There are people that want to change their lives, people that have been lied to, people that have made bad decisions that are ready to make good decisions, like Trump said yesterday when he spoke to you. If you leave, you should deserve a second chance. There should be something waiting for you when you get back. These are the stories that made me want to emerge as a leader in this movement to help Black people make better choices. Because the second that you decide that you want to make better choices, your entire life can change. We cannot divorce our actions from the consequences that they yield. That is a part of the big lie the Democrats have sold to minority communities to enslave our minds, to create a constant victim mentality. They have handed us excuses while economically enslaving us to their government plantations. Government plantations which were sold to us as empowerment. The government will empower you with handouts. Barack Obama, one of the greatest salesmen to ever live, created record welfare beneficiaries in the Black community. $22 trillion have been paid into the welfare state, and Black Americans are poorer today than before its proliferation. Do not ever forget that. How is that for empowerment from the left? Does that make any of us feel very empowered? Of course, these are the statistics and the data points they don't want us to pay attention to, because what do they want? They want us to be emotional all the time. They don't want us to think rationally. They don't want us to be smart. They want us to permanently be in a state of fear because of the boogeyman, racism, white racist Republicans, the constant boogeyman they sell to us to secure our votes. I do not fear bad press, CNN, MSNBC. I do not fear racism. I was neither born into or raised in a racist country. I thrive in a country amongst a party of Democrats that insist upon shining a light on every single racist act that happens in this country. But I don't fear racism. I don't walk down the street in fear of white people. But I do have fears. And they are for the Black youth who day in and day out are being programmed by a media that wishes to see them fail. When I grew up, I wanted to be like the Jeffersons, like Tina and Tamara, like Mr. and Mrs. Huxtable. Family Matters, the Winslows, that's the kind of television that I grew up on. What in God's name happened to Black TV? Love and Hip Hop? Love Cardi B? But that's what I fear. I fear that they're manufacturing our goals. And I thought a lot about the goals of the Black community, and it's interesting. Black mothers hold out a lot of hope that their son is going to be the next LeBron James, the next big athlete.
Yeah.
It's undeniable the amount of emphasis that we place on basketball and on football in our households growing up. But let's actually talk about that. So I have the numbers for you. There is a 0.016% chance that a person will make it to play pro football in their life, and a 0.00104% chance that an individual will make it to play pro basketball. Hoop dreams really do deflate. You see, what the left has done successfully is created a path of assured destruction and failure via our media and our culture. We want to be rappers, we want to be NFL players, we want to be basketball players. But there's a 100% chance that you will become a doctor if you stay in school and you pass your exams. The left knows how much these idols mean to us. They know how much the LeBron James, the Jay-Z's, and the Beyonce have meant to us, and they have used them as political pawns to further enslave us to their plantation. They have told us to pay attention to the political thoughts of LeBron James and to ignore the thoughts of who they refer to as a porch monkey, Dr. Ben Carson. Dr. Ben Carson. Dr. Condoleezza Rice. Dr. Thomas Sowell. but I dream of a day, and I hope it starts in this room, where Black children say that they want to be just like Dr. Ben Carson. So what is the current Black state? The Black state is whatever we decide that it's going to be, because we are now in the driver's seat. Right. Our options are simple. We can accept the left's narrative that we are not American, that we have more in common with the criminal caravan at the border than we do with our brothers and sisters of this country. We can accept that we're permanent victims, that we can't do it without government handouts, that we're too stupid to get into schools on the basis of our own intellect. Or we can decide that after 400 years, after the first slave ships pulled in 1619, and 400 years later, in 2019, that we are at long last ready to snatch a piece of this American dream. We can fully recognize that this is in fact our country. That while Hillary Clinton viewed us as super predators, while CNN views us as token Negroes who don't read, Donald Trump views us as Americans.
USA, 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 USA.
Today in this room, I'm so excited because we are going to launch in front of the world a movement that will forever be remembered as a piece of American history, a movement called BLEXIT, the Black Exit. The Black Exit from permanent victimhood, the Black exit from the false idea that we are somehow separate from the rest of America. BLEXIT.com is live right now in this moment. The BLEXIT movement will spend 2019 holding rallies in every major city in America that the Democrats have destroyed. Who here is from Chicago? It's time for BLEXIT. Who here is from Philadelphia? It's time for BLEXIT. From Oakland, from Baltimore. Learn the truth and make the BLEXIT as we have in this room. We will color these cities like this room looks colored, with positivity and with hope, progress that can only come from a change of mindset. BLEXIT is a renaissance, and I'm blessed to say that this logo, these colors, were created by my dear friend and fellow superhero, Kanye West. Who has taken one of the boldest steps in America to open a conversation that we have needed to have. And I cannot tell you how badly he wished to be here in this room with everybody. But he's here in spirit, don't worry. I know, I'm sorry.
Love you, Kanye.
So who wears the BLEXIT logo? Americans, Caucasian Americans who have waited their entire lives for this moment, who have been wrongly accused of racism for refusing to see us as less than, which is what the Democrat Party sees us as. It's for Hispanic people who have nothing to do with illegals, and for some reason they're being pushed into this narrative that somehow they are responsible for what's going on south of the border. And of course, it is for the Black Americans, like the one in this room, who are tired of carrying a party that doesn't care about us. We wear this logo as a symbol that we have freed ourselves. Every American who wears this logo realizes that when we all come together, when we refuse to allow the media to divide us, to pit us as men versus women, as radical feminists tend to do, as black versus white, as leftists love to do, when we all come together, we'll start to understand that the colors of this country are red, white, and blue. Yes. We the free is our slogan, and we choose to release ourselves from political orthodoxy because we are free. And I cannot thank you guys so much for this moment in my life. It has been the most incredible few days.
Love you, Candace.
So much.
We are free. We are free. We are free. We are free. What's going on? All right, all right.
Show my shirt.
You live on my YouTube right now. So what's up?
What's up? How you doing? Go USA.
All right, bye-bye.
Hey, man.
Brother. Got some lights in here. That'll help the video out. I'll show you guys a shirt one more time. The light might help a little bit. Matter of fact, get to my man David Harris.
It's backwards.
That's all right.
It might reflect, but people they get it. They get the idea.
BLEXIT, baby.
BLEXIT.
Live in action.
It said 72p quality. I can't do nothing. I'm reading the comments.
What's that?
Somebody said it's 72p quality.
Oh, okay.
Everybody's streaming. It's just bad quality.
Are you on YouTube?
Yeah. Get everybody. Come on inside too, boss. BLEXIT is black exit. Leaving a Democratic plantation. I don't know if you can hear me, but it is. Leaving a Democratic plantation. I'm sorry about the quality. Black exit, yes. And that might be a wrap. Thank y'all for joining. This has been the BLEXIT event. We had Candace Owens. We had Brandon Tatum. Yeah, my man, I forget his name, but he was in the penitentiary, gave his testimony. I've known about this for a long time because I've been in the industry for a long time. But it was a surprise to everybody else here. To have Kanye come would have been great, but hey man, you can't get everything you want in life. We're free. That's right. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and cut it. If we do more tonight, I'll go back on.